Imagine the fun you'll have at your wedding, one of life's most treasured moments. In each episode, hear from leading wedding professionals as they share with you insider tips and personal advice for a magical wedding. Welcome to the Indian Wedding Podcast. Here to help plan your wedding with style and grace are your hosts, Kunal and Jinal Sampat.
Hi friends, welcome to another episode of the Indian Wedding Podcast. My name is Kunal Sampat. I am your host at the Indian Wedding Podcast, along with my co-host Jinal Sampat, where we help you plan a magical wedding. Have you seen the jaw-dropping videos at South Asian weddings where the couple and their family and friends are having the best time of their life? If you've ever wondered what it takes to get that perfect footage, then you're in for a treat. We have a special guest who's so good at her craft that it brings tears of joy to couples when they watch the first cut. Introducing Arina Balerina from Balerina Films. Arina and her team have been featured in leading fashion and wedding magazines like the Vogue, Over the Moon, and many more. Most importantly, her work speaks for itself. Stay tuned towards the end of the video where Arina shows her favorite weddings and why. You can also check out the links and timestamps in the descriptions below for specific topics and insights. Please join me in welcoming Arina Balerina on the Indian Wedding Podcast. Arina, thank you so much for joining us today on the Indian Wedding Podcast. My name is Kunal. I'm really excited to have you on the show.
Thank you, Kunal. I'm super excited too.
To kickstart our conversation, I noticed you have a really interesting background of being a ballerina into dancing. I was curious to know how did you get into the wedding photos and the video creation, and what inspired you from being a ballerina?
Thank you for your question. So, yeah, first of all, it's been a long time ago. I've been in wedding videography, photography business for about 10 years plus, maybe 11 already. After 10 years, you just basically stop counting the years. And first, I've been a dancer for like about 10 years earlier before being a videographer. I've been dancing street style, and I think I just naturally gravitating towards photo and video, but from the other side of the camera. But then I'm from Russia, from a very small city called Krasnodar, and I've been wanted to become a famous choreographer at that time 10 years ago. And then I started to travel and bought a camera because I needed this. I found this photo courses in Sicily and went there for photo courses and realized that I actually love videography, like not the videography, but I hit the button rec and I loved what I see. I also had the lens fisheye, this circle thing, like shooting everything wide angle. So I've been shooting with fisheye everything I see, and I was like, wow, that's impressive. That's really cool. And
Cool,
this
yeah.
is how I actually understood that I might want to do the videos as well. And I needed to, like, when I got back to Russia, I needed to create like a name for the brand and stuff like that. And at that time, I had a nickname Arina Balerina for dance battles, basically. So I decided to call a company of me and my friend, which I teamed up with. I called it Balerina Films. That's easy. It is. And honestly, when I moved to United States, it was in 2018. I just left the same name, so it's basically still the same from the day one. Balerina Films.
That's great. That's a
It's
great
Hey.
story.
story, yeah.
Yeah.
So can you walk us through the exact process you go over with brides and grooms before they book you for a wedding?
Sure. So first of all, we obviously have a request via email where they put like the basic information necessary for us to understand if we're available or not. We travel all over the planet, and we have a bigger team now. It's me and my husband Alex, and basically 15 other professionals, photographers, videographers, and editors. And we every year reducing the number of the wedding we're taking, just to make sure we give enough attention to everybody and not overwork. After all this COVID crazy situation, we all been working so hard. I'm sure you are as well. So we limiting like the amount of wedding we're taking, and after we receive the request, we giving just a basic information. Hey, these are our packages, and
Mm.
we are available, and these are the travel fees, and if they are involved. And after that, we might not have a call consultation where I might answer all the questions if they possibly have. And if everything looks great, we're just booking the date. Overall, I'm just trying to make the experience as easy as possible, because I can imagine how hard it is to prepare the wedding for the most part, especially multi-day.
Yeah.
So I'm
Yeah.
just trying to be very straightforward, and I'm Russian. I'm just saying things up front. I guess this is where we got the understanding with Indian culture, because you guys are also like, very, very
Direct.
straightforward for the most
Correct.
part.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Very
Yeah.
direct for the most
Very
part.
direct.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I,
It
just
helps. Yeah.
crystal clear. Here's the contract. You book the date, and we're gonna take care of you as much as we want, and we're gonna go above and beyond as long as you have us on board for photo and video.
Yeah. Are there any
Right.
specific aspects of your packages like you feel like are like amazing that people like were like, oh, I want to work with you?
Aspect of the package,
Yeah.
maybe it will be a same day edit that included in every single package for multi-day wedding, and also the sneak peek photos. We not just deliver like 3 photos, we usually deliver like 100 of the photos on the next day or even during the wedding if certain couples requesting them. I think those are like, kind of like shockingly cool things that we include.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, again, we just keeping the things simple, and our our thing that makes us different from others, that we actually document, like documentary style photographers, videographers. We do, we just follow everything that happens and things in between, not just the main things. We're focusing on multiple things at the same time. So I think overall experience, this is what makes us difference. But packages are just really, we're just charging for the time we spent at the events,
Right.
and obviously have
Yeah.
all things
I
on
see.
top of the package that we're adding on, like live stream, whatever. What else?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Uh,
did see some customization options that you had on your website. So I was actually curious to know what are the customizations and what is something brides could ask for, because sometimes they might not know these things exist and they should be asking for it. So how does that work? Like if I was getting married today, I would not know what to ask for, like newer things, or like because it's a lot of research that you guys already
yeah.
have done. So yeah.
Yeah.
For
Basically, lack
sure.
of awareness. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. That in this, uh, I'm just honestly based on my experience building all these packages with minimum needed things that they need for the wedding, because not everybody interested in engagement shoot or raw files or I don't know, like for nowadays it's people are interested in that, like next day teasers from every event or like every single thing. But it's not for everybody. Not all our bride and grooms
Makes
are
sense.
interested in TikTok or Instagram. So I think I'm a talkative person. I usually just making sure I hear the couple, like we're talking to them and they telling, hey, this is important, this is not. And I might tell them, hey, maybe this is for you, and they might consider and look through. But not, I'm not trying, overflow with like the things that we do all the time. We're not doing crazy amount of videographers, like 6 videographers, crane, and like all type of stuff. We just have the basic stuff that makes us us. And if again, like if the conversation
Mm.
goes in a certain way, I might offer them something, but honestly, I'm not going crazy on like extra
Yeah.
stuff like live stream or anything like that.
Right.
Yeah.
Like
That's really
drones
good.
or
Yeah,
yeah.
that's a really good point. Like not focusing on the number of like videographers or like
Yeah.
saying, "Oh, we need six people," just because we
Yeah.
need six without a really you needing six people for to
For
do the video.
sure, for sure.
Yeah.
100%.
Mhm.
Mm.
So when you do live stream, do you do it on different platforms or is it YouTube or?
Yeah, usually we're doing this on YouTube, and we also do a live feed, like
Mm.
for the actual space where everything is happening when it's like lots of guests. So yeah, usually it's a YouTube.
Got it. So Arina, I'm assuming you work with a lot of cultures, Indian cultures and even Russian weddings. How important it is for a videographer to really understand the cultural nuances of an Indian wedding, and so you were able to shoot them, or what are your thoughts on that?
I think it's definitely important, but it's from the person who came from different background, from Russian weddings. Obviously, I've been doing this for so many years, and first of all, I thought I'll be working in Europe because I started to pick up more weddings, in European countries like Germany or Italy or France, and we started to shoot more different cultures. And considering the fact that we are documentary photographers and videographers, usually you just shoot whatever you see. Like you just capture everything and then you kind of process all that. And obviously, first weddings, like Indian weddings, were hard for us. And first of all, family didn't trust us because they see that we are like newbies and this is our first, second, third wedding, whatever. And we like first we kind of like mind blown it by the variety of the types of Indian weddings. But then we started to pick up, okay, this is that, this is this. I think it's actually pretty helpful to kind of do your own research. Every time I got back from first Sikh wedding in my life, I get back to Google, to Wikipedia, and started to see, okay, what do we have? What is Sikh wedding? Who are they? Like, what is this? What is it happening? And also, it's great thing about Indian multi days because you can talk to the actual parents about their customs, their own things that they're like value in their family. And I realized that it's like again like super different from one family to another. So it's definitely important, but it takes time to learn. We got there, and I believe it took about a year for me to actually start
Mm.
the like lots of differences. And fun fact that one of our photographers, she is like a extra super control freak. She's like very responsible. uh, so sometimes family members even asking her what to do, and she's Russian, by the way. So they asking her like what to do next. Like we do Vidai, for example, and they're like, "Oh, what we should do? Should we push the car?" And she was like, "Yes, you should push the car. You should break this. You should do that, and stuff like that." So yeah, it's important. It takes time. It's shocking at the beginning, but I think when you want to learn this, when you want to understand the culture, you will get there for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are some of the common challenges you face with Indian weddings and how do you go about overcoming those?
Challenges. I think the biggest challenge is when the um, timeline is never a thing at the wedding.
Mm,
When we don't have a planner, yeah, that's the challenge. Because sometimes with this like 500 guests, it's becoming so hard to manage all that because we have, for example, again, we're talking to our couples, we have some expectations and we need to deliver them. And when we have delays and delays and no order at all, it's just so hard to follow that. So
absolutely.
this must be probably the biggest challenge. And maybe another thing, when we have like at the ceremony, this path, when we have the mirror floor leading towards the mandap, when it's made all from mirror, and we have weddings in California and Mexico and all over the sunny states, when the sun like
Fun.
above your head is just becoming so hard to shoot because all the cameras are overheating, and we just, yeah, it's just really like a lasers to your eyes. I think
Oh
that's
wow,
hard.
I did not think. Yeah,
So the
I did not
mirror,
think of that.
the mirrors like on the floor, you mean, or the
Yeah,
where are
when
the?
the decor created the way, it's like all the mirrors, going down the aisle.
I've never
It's
seen
it's
that,
like the
but
entry of the bride or something. It's in
okay.
your way. So do you ever like recommend talking to the decor person like before, or do you ever, or that doesn't happen usually, I guess,
So,
or
not necessarily in my case for photo video. We might want to share our vision, like what side, depending on the sun, right? We want to shoot. Other than that, I don't think that photo video necessarily need to talk to the decor team because this is not our expertise. We
right,
we totally trust our creative team, like whoever involved. It's just my personal feeling, like it's
challenge?
really
Yeah,
not easy sometimes because
something.
if the weather is cloudy, if it's like fine, that's totally
Yeah,
okay, but sometimes it's just becoming challenging because the sun is so harsh and it's a summer, it's the summer, it's so hot.
Yeah,
But
summer.
yeah, do
Hmm.
you think
yeah.
photo video should talk to a decor team?
I
I
mean,
think yeah. Go ahead, Gina.
yeah, you can. No, I personally think it's a great point, but I think just giving some of the things that that haven't worked with you in past directly to the brides and grooms may help.
Yeah,
Like the mirror thing you're talking about, or like big no-nos in decor that bother with the footage that you guys come up with. In the first few emails might be helpful, but it's not needed. I mean, sometimes those things can be creative if the weather is perfect, as you said, you know.
Yeah.
So it's just
Yeah, and I mean,
subjective, yeah.
yeah, it's very subjective. I agree. And it also looks beautiful. I totally get that. Like in terms of visual part is just incredible. Always all these mirror parts, they reflect so well and it's incredible. It's just personal experience because
yeah.
sometimes it's just
Right,
really become challenging to actually shoot this.
So if I'm taking
totally.
two takeaways from this discussion is avoid mirrors, right, with the decor. Is that would that be a fair statement?
Maybe, I don't know. It's very personal vision of mine.
Yes.
Uh, I, Again, if my brides and grooms will choose that for their wedding, it's great.
Y-
It's amazing. It's just
Yeah.
hard to shoot when
Mm.
the sun is going down. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe to have. Oh, also, I've been thinking about the guests. Oh, the takeaway from this conversation, if you're having guests sitting on the sides, get them an umbrellas because when the sun is going down and it reflects to their faces, they're getting like 2 times more sun. This is the takeaway. If you're having a mirror parts, get the protection for your guests, like the umbrellas or some
I
sort of
see.
fan.
I see. And then
Fun, yeah.
the third thing was the starting like having timely events basically and having a planner, right?
Having a
Just
planner,
planner,
yeah,
yeah.
100%. Yes.
Yeah, we've interviewed some planners on the podcast. So I'd highly recommend people check out those interviews. We'll link them in the show notes for folks to take a look
Oh,
at.
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. No,
Um,
working with a planner is a game changing for multi-day and for Indian events in general because I've been to this couple weddings without one, and it's honestly like everything just flows, everything just happens, and you're like, okay,
Right,
I need to be everywhere all at once. It's so, I mean,
right.
it's hard for us, like, first of all, just to kind of like focusing on everything and like do not miss everything.
Right. So, Arina, according to you, what can brides and grooms do, to help the best photos and the videos, help the photo and the video team to get, the most out of the captures, basically.
So I think In terms of our company, usually, first of all, just to enjoy everything. Like that's, for my opinion, that's the secret of it. Because when the bride and groom are micromanaging or controlling everything, or still have doubts about their like decisions that they made before, and also didn't have enough sleep, all these nerves are coming all together and they honestly collapse. So yeah, my recommendation is definitely just go with the flow. Whatever happening is happening. It's an event. It's obviously a project that you've been preparing for a year, sometimes for 2 years. You've been thinking about this. You want this to be as perfect as possible. But honestly, when the day will come, you just have to relax. You just literally have to trust everybody who you hired, photographers, sound guys, DJs, photographers, videographers, and just let it go, honestly. If you will not, you will remember that day how you've been thinking, oh my God, this dress too long or too short, or my lipstick doesn't match. Like you have to, like, whatever been before that day, you can't control and manage. When the day is coming, you should not worry about the thing. That's the biggest thing. Because when I see, obviously, I've probably shot more than 500 weddings at this point, maybe already 600. I'm not even counting. And it's really, you can see from the first moment you walk into the room for the getting ready, right? If the bride is
think
enjoying
we
or not. Yeah, so the moment we come to the getting
Can you?
ready, room, you immediately can feel the atmosphere, if they like have enough of sleep at that time or not. And obviously, we are those guys who trying to make them, bride and groom and their families, like more relaxed in the day off in the morning, because this is how you start the day, that all going to be like happening the same way. And also another thing that might be helpful is to have enough time allocating to the post shots, like, and family photos. Usually I'm doing a lot of calls before the wedding to make sure we have enough time before everything like happens, like before Barat, before the ceremony. We doing all the couple shots beforehand, and also family photos and all the other like important things that needs to be shot. Because for my opinion, after the wedding is over, like you woke up so early, like you want to just just go and have fun and have lunch and then just enjoy changing to
right.
the next outfit. But overall, yeah,
Yeah.
I just trying to be more structured during the day, and I'm explaining this to every single couple that like you have to have enough time for this and that, if that's a priority. Because sometimes they couples are not interested even in the post shots, right? Sometimes they just want a documentary style of shooting, which is totally fine. So having time for those who want any sort of like portrait shots, couple shots, that's the key. And honestly, just listen to your professionals who you hire, like at the day off, when we're making any of the decisions based on the day. Because sometimes, oh, another thing to mention, sometimes we have, I don't know, like 15 minutes of the open dance floor at the end, right, of the end of the day. But then I was like, hey, you haven't even had your guests at the dance floor, maybe we should like stay maybe a little bit longer, just for that time. And obviously we have a great couples, like for the most part we honestly have a very open conversation, so they hear me and they trust us. But sometimes in past, when we were younger and we less experienced in Indian weddings, I was like, okay, we will do however you want. And then later, like within 8 months, 6 months, I deliver them like photo video gallery, and they're like,
Mm.
"Hey, we missed this, we missed that at the open dance floor, like the dance off or something like that." And I was like, "But we didn't stay. You tell us to go. We didn't stay at that time." So literally, I'm just trying to, just
Yeah,
be a step ahead to understand what's necessarily might be important for the final result. So
that's great. So you're
just
kind of guiding them in the process now, and you're kind of 2 steps ahead of them.
Mm.
trying to, yes,
Yeah.
as much as I can.
Makes sense. It's
Yeah.
it's a very important role because brides and grooms are lost. I mean, I don't think we knew what we were doing during our wedding. So it's your expertise. I'm sure it's really helpful in long run when they look back to the photos. So what do you do with, couples that are like camera shy? They don't like to take the couple shots, or like
I
they don't know
know.
how to take photos of, get photos taken professionally because it seems like a big deal.
Honestly, I think this is my favorite type of couples because I'm also the same. I'm just a normal person who not always in front of the camera. We're not a professional actors or actresses, and I honestly that's my favorite because when we're shooting people who are just real
Yeah.
people in love, and when they receive the final results, they just really shocked like how we can possibly look that good in like the photos and videos. So yeah, we're definitely helping with the poses, and we're not doing like a huge deal about posing or not posing.
Mm.
First of all, we, as I mentioned, we talking by the phone before the wedding. We understand each other. We're talking the same like flow, and we're trying to read the room when we come into the space, and we like they mentally prepared like, hey, that's going to be the time, just 1 hour or like 30 minutes of your time where you might want to pose for the shots. And I think this is when we like sharing our own things. We just helping with the poses, and we trying to relax them, and do not do this like a big deal. If they
Mm,
not feeling like posing or shooting, we're not gonna force them. Like it's never a thing. But fun fact that
mm,
we came from like Russian weddings experience, and most of the grooms, they don't want to pose for a minute. Like that's so hard to force them to
mm,
do that. And when we come to next States, I realized that sometimes grooms are actually, especially Indian grooms, they planning everything.
mm,
They want to make everything looks perfect. They doing all these photo shoots. They prepare outfits. It's so interesting. Like it's so different. Like I sometimes I'm so impressed by the groom are actually moving
oh
forward and
wow.
want like to have this result to be made. So we came from even more harder experience, kind of. So it's it's easy to make them feel comfortable during this process.
I see.
Right.
So what can like brides
The
and grooms do to
experience.
like make the crew feel more
That makes a
comfortable?
lot
Like
of
what are
sense.
some of the
Yeah.
nice things that have happened to you that were like, wow, this is really nice?
Hmm. I think it's always cute when they ask us if we ate or not. It's such a simple thing to ask. And obviously, we even have this in our contract. The team needs to be feeded during the like
Yeah.
wedding because, you're running around for 16 hours, and it's just really sometimes so hard to track everything. And when the planners are including this in the timeline, hey, you need to be eating like at that time. So, and it's always cute when usually parents of the bride and groom are asking us, hey, did you eat? And even like past, sometimes past bride and groom or past parents are coming as a guests because it's such a small circle, probably here in California. Everybody knows everybody. So sometimes we come to the wedding and we see so many familiar faces. And this past guests, they like coming to us and asking us, did you like eat? Is everything great? We're like, yeah, sorry, and thank you so much for asking this. Yeah, but other than that, what what else? Hmm.
Yeah.
A place to stay would be nice, right?
Place to stay. Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely. We're doing many destination weddings, and
Mm,
I think it's very important and like kind from the couple when we're staying at the same place where we're shooting the wedding,
right.
because this is makes things much easier, especially with like multi days, like smaller events, we going back and forth. And
Mhm.
I
again,
see.
we just been having the best couples I can wish for the past all the time we had. They all been super like welcoming and accommodating. So for the most part, yes, we've been staying for at the same place where we shot the wedding. So I'm super appreciate for that. It's make things much easier.
I watched some of your videos, like the same day edits, and they're really inspiring. And one of the brides even said I had tears in my eyes when she saw that. So how do you actually figure out the right vibe for that particular couple? Because there are so many different ways that you could use music. For example, like me and Kunal, both of us have completely opposite taste in music. So just things like that, like how would you like really understand the couple and what they would like? Or do you talk to them before, or it's just your inspiration?
Yeah, I think it's combination of factors, and especially as you can imagine, we have a team working for the weddings. I'm still leading every single wedding we cover, but at the same time, first of all, I'm letting my professionals express themselves as well during the shooting weddings. I'm not micromanaging them. So this is one of the big factors why we are who we are, because like with shooting so many weddings in your life, you can run out of ideas so quickly. And at some point, couple years ago, I decided to understand, like, hey, I'm doing the same thing over and over again, because that's a wedding. People exchanging rings, people do the circles around the priest, around the fire. And again, they do getting ready. We have harsh light, we have dark light, we have this and that, and the like 9 types of light, for example. And like I ended up understood that I'm trying to repeat myself. And obviously I won some awards. I've been judging some of the uh, 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 mm, competitions, like professional competitions. And I started to understand that I literally don't know how to get an inspiration, like, because everything I see, I've been already done everything for different like setups or weddings or whatever. And when I started to build the team 2 years ago, I came to realization that I work with younger generation for the most part. Like I'm 34 and I work with people who like 23, 24 ish. And them, like, they just so hungry. They just, wow, this effect, that effect. Oh my God, it's so incredible. And I was like, yeah, try this, try that. And I'm like kind of guiding them a little bit, but at the same time, they might have a little bit some like different vision, different aspects of that. And kind of all this combination of their vision plus my experience and their experience as well after that many weddings together, this is when it comes to magic. And another thing to mention, that yes, I definitely talk to the couples beforehand and trying to understand their, again, customs first, because we don't speak any of these languages. Like we don't speak Hindi, obviously. I'm trying to learn it, but it's not easy. So I want to learn English, and then the rest of the languages. So yeah, I'm talking to their parents. Some of them are more old school or orthodox in some certain ways, and they tell us, "Hey, we need this music. We need this language," and they might send us some of the recommendations of the music, and we start, learning more, like in this field. Again, like we get some information and we process it. I listen to this music actually. I love Indian music and I listen to this on a daily basis. And I call it professional, how it called, deformation. Like I'm almost like broken in some point. Like I live my life, I do normal things, but I listen to this music, and if I hear something, I might, collect that music for future usage. It doesn't matter where I do. If I'm on the vacation or on the hike, I might listen something and immediately know, oh, it's going to be good for future usage. So I might have a little library of my own music,
Mhm.
but this music might not ever use. Like it's really, that's the magic of my career, my field that we do. So yeah, so we get some information from the couple, some inspiration. We work in a team and we exchange ideas. We think what else we can bring.
Elaborate.
and and honestly, yeah, my biggest secret is just we don't think much. When we switched and added same day edit to the every single package, that made our experience of delivering the results even better. Because like I had in past experiences when I've been editing one short video for, I don't know, 3 months, and like been so hard, out of ideas and things like that. But when you edit everything during the wedding, you're still fresh, you still have everything in your head, you're so involved, you edit this, and then like honestly this reaction to the video is just really priceless. Because when you see the actual like emotions on people's face, how they see this for the first time, this is when you honestly see like what's important, what's not, and we might rework this video a little bit and then deliver honestly 200% best video that we might deliver. So that's a combination of
Right.
all sort of factors.
Yeah, same day edit, as in like you edit at the wedding and then you deliver it to them on the same day, like at the end of the wedding.
Yes, we do. Yeah, but
Okay.
also we spent like few more weeks after the wedding just to
Improvise,
just to update, like just to make this video
refine
look
it.
better.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they usually we do both photo and video for the wedding, so we deliver sneak peek photos, and they still reliving everything, and they enjoying the photos and stuff. So honestly, we taking a few more weeks just to kind of deliver the final video at that time. Sometimes we give it the same day, but I think it's just better to get it in 2 weeks
Yeah.
and prolongate
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
reaction.
Right. So some brides, like, so some couples like to show the same day edit on a projector. I've seen on receptions, they like to show that to the guest who have been with them in the last 3-4 days. So just like a highlight, for what happened this week, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah, this is what we usually do.
Yeah. So so in your experience, which was your most favorite wedding? I mean, I know you have shot a lot of weddings, but is there a particular wedding that you think this is like my favorite, and why?
Favorite. I would mention um, three weddings. So again, obviously, we love
Yeah,
All of
everything
them.
that we
Yeah.
shoot, and we just
yeah.
obsessed with Indian culture, and it's always something like little things like mesmerize me. And my favorite thing is to work like, obviously we work with the same group of like friends, people, professionals, and rarely but we add more people to help. And every time I see this first reaction of like photographer who's been in industry for 10 years, and then for the first time he comes to the Indian wedding, and I can see this eyes, and he's crying at every single thing, and it's just really wonderful to see. So but my favorite, absolutely favorite weddings uh, that made us more, it's kind of like blown the internet. I think those are my favorite, because when obviously you get the reaction and you know that you did something different, you did something cool, it's great. But when you put it out there and it become just really blown the internet, you was like, wow, okay, fine. So it's just one of the videos that mixed wedding. She's Indian and he's Mexican, but the groom, when he wearing a turban, I didn't really realize that he's not Indian. He looks exactly like Indian, but he's Mexican. So, and yeah, this wedding was in downtown LA. And I don't know, it's just a couple, they were so unique themselves. Not, not a huge multi-day, just a one-day wedding. But their love is so pure, and it's just so modern. And the way that they trust us more than the most of the previous brides, maybe they more experimental, that gives us more freedom to create the actual like something different. And this is when people started to know us a little bit more. And another one is the wedding of Neha and Amit. I'm not sure if you saw, it's the wedding in Mount Palomar. Was Neha became a wedding planner after her wedding, actually. So she's very successful now. She's great. But I'm luckily shot her own wedding where like all, so beautiful friends and family, they all in this outdoor space in Temecula. And I think it's just the first wedding in this venue for me. That's why it's been so impressive. I don't know, just the vibes were just incredible. I don't know.
What's the third one?
The third one, it's definitely the past year. We had the wedding that published in Vogue. It's Radhika and Nimit. So yeah, this wedding was just out of this world. I've never seen in my life a couple arriving at the Rolls Royce to the reception area, to the reception space. So they actually came to the crowd on their car. So this was like on my mind. And obviously every single day was just so filled with emotions and just, I don't know, it's incredible.
Wow.
I have no words. You have to see the video.
Did you know about like this was going to happen before the wedding, or was it a surprise for you?
It was a surprise for me when I was editing these files. It's so bad because I haven't seen this with my own eyes because I've been editor at that day, and yeah, we have a bigger team. So like 5 people of our team, they were been like shooting everything. And when I was finishing this same day edit at the same day, they came to me like with these eyes, and they were like, do you know what they just did? They came in this car to their reception. I was like, no way. And I saw this footage. I was like, such a bummer. I want to see it myself. But yeah, it's incredible. It's just so cool. I didn't even realize it's going to happen. Honestly, other than that, the wedding just really top notch. And yeah,
nice.
Well, thank you for sharing like a mixed bag of weddings, some that are one day and then the ones that are multi-day with these fancy cars coming all the way till the in the venue. So great. I think we don't have anything else unless there's any, I think it would be great for people to know where they can find you, your website and any social media handles. We'll probably link everything in the show notes, but there's any special place you want them to contact you, you can mention it.
Yeah, thank you so much. Usually it's Instagram, and I'm trying to not answer in DMs for the requests. So usually it's a website, which obviously connected to the Instagram as well. Easy. Balerina Films and all the platforms. That's Instagram, TikTok, and website.
Great. Well, thank you so much. This was great.
Thank you.
We appreciate your time.
Thank you, Jinal.
Thank you so much.
Really lovely to chat with you. Likewise. Thank you.
If you've enjoyed watching this episode and learned something new, please consider subscribing to the Indian Wedding Podcast. You can also sign up for the Indian Wedding Podcast monthly email newsletter for more exclusive content and personalized offers. To sign up, click on the link in the description below or notes on our website, indianweddingpodcast.com. Until next time.
Thank you for listening to the Indian Wedding Podcast. For more exclusive time and money-saving tips, head over to sampatjewelers.com/podcast.